Okay, the next folder that I want to call attention to is called Data for the Entire Course with No Limits. And when you open that folder, what you will see is data organized by purpose. The most critical folders that we're going to use here are the K-12 data and the higher ed data. So when I open the K-12 database, you're going to see a lot of data from real schools on different topics. Each of these is a separate database. And so when I give you homework, or we go through things in these videos, I'm going to say, open the file called Teachers 2, for example. We'll run a lot from Teachers 2. And I'll give you questions, and you'll find that database, and I'll tell you what the variables are within that database, and then we should be able to run it and match it. So all of the folders under data within database are really specific to K-12 and higher ed. I have several different databases in that as well. The next folder that I want to emphasize is called Teacher Codebook. And this is really for the sake of staying organized when you have a lot of different databases. But what a database codebook is it tells you what each column is, what the variable name is, and what the value labels are. So I made a codebook from a database called Teacher Survey in this particular case. And in column 1, there's a variable that's called site. And when you open that up, if it was in Excel, for example, in that cell, you would see a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5. And those are the value labels for the variable called site. So if there was a 1 entered in the first column for the first respondent, that's a teacher from St. Louis. If there was a 3, that would be a teacher from Nashville. The next 3 through 10 columns are the school ID. And you really would only need 1 column there because these are numeric. If I saw a 1 in that next set, then I'm referring to Ames Elementary School. If I saw a 2, it would represent Ashland. It's just a nice way to efficiently be able to navigate all of your variables, be reminded what your scales are, and so forth. So now I'm going to scroll down a little bit and look at one that's not just a categorical variable. Question 12 on the survey said, how often do you communicate with parents about engaging in the following learning activities? And the first question, 12A, which is in the 46th column, says, how often do you read to your child or listen to your child read? And the possible answers are down here at the bottom. I haven't quite scrolled down far enough, but if you saw 1, that particular parent is responding that they read to their child once a month or less, a 2, once every 2 weeks, 3, once a week, and a 4th, daily. This is an important example because you need to know what these value labels represent in terms of frequency. And then 2, I can take these 5 questions and create 1 variable called parental involvement in learning activities at home, or parental engagement. And essentially what I would be doing, instead of looking at each of these individually, since they all measure the same construct, parents reading to their child at home, I could average the 5 and then determine how reliably these 5 things collectively measure parental involvement in learning activities at home.